Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are in this video tutorial today, that means you've watched the cutting tutorial, but if you've not, please check the description box for the cutting tutorial. It was getting too long and I decided to separate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do wait to hit on the subscribe button, join the family. And then to my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. And without wasting so much time, let's complete the sewing tutorial of this play suit that we started earlier. So I've gone ahead to cut out all the lining pieces for my upper bodice for this play suit. Please, all the noise you are hearing, try and ignore them. There's this construction project going on around me, so the noise is quite disturbing, I know. So I've cut out my lining pieces and I am using my normal lining pieces for this. You guys know I don't like this lining, but I have to use it today because that's the only option I have. So the next thing we are going to be doing, and the fan keep blowing it, oh my goodness, is to bring in my front lining and my back lining, and I'll go ahead and stitch on the two shoulders by 1/2 inch. So we are doing lining to lining and then the main fabric to the main fabric. So I'll also bring in my main fabric. This is the front one, and then I'll bring in the back one. And just like we did for the back one, we're going to be doing front facing front, and then we are going to stitch on our shoulder line by 1/2 inch. Once we are done with that, onto the lower part of this play suit, let's say the short side, the short or necker side, we are going to go ahead and stitch on the crouch area by 1/2 inch as well, and I'll also do the same thing for the back. So this is what we have after we are done stitching on the shoulder area. So I'll bring in my lining as well, and at this point we're going to be doing front facing front as well. And please go ahead and look at all the places I'm going to be showing you guys where to stitch. I don't think explaining or talking on this stage is will change anything. Just look at the video, you will see all I'm going to tell where you are going to be stitching by 1/2 inch. So the first place will be the 2 armhole. Once you are done stitching the armhole, you are going to go ahead and stitch or you can start from the hem area, then stitch all the way to the armhole, then to the other seam line by 1/2 inch. Remember we added 1 inch stitching allowance, so we are now at this point I am stitching by 1/2 inch on the seam line. So every other part is just 1/2 inch that we added. So you're going to be stitching all around just like you see me showing you guys. So stitch onto the rope and then to the back, to the hem back, to the seam side. Remember the seam side is 1/2 inch, to the armhole, and then to the other side. So the only place that will be opening is the front half hem side. That's the half length, the lower side of the front. I hope you understand this, but every other side will be stitched. Then this is the short after I am done stitching on the crouch. So I have this rope that is as long as the waistline. So I'll bring in the band. I'll place this at the wrong side of the short, and then I'll stitch by 1/2 inch. Once I am done, I'll turn it to the other side, fold in by 1/2 inch, and then stitch it again. By the time you are done stitching it, you are going to, the band should be the front, where you turn it, it will be front to front. I hope you understand this. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the elastic band. So this is the reason for using a wide band, so that this elastic band can be able to fit in. So what you're going to be doing is to divide your waist measurement divided by 2. Then the other half of it, you take out about 2 inches or so out of it, and then insert your elastic band so that it won't be too tight for the child. So this is our bodice after I was done with the stitching and stitching and stitching. So we are going to go ahead and cut out any excesses around, and then make notches around every curve on this bodice, and then all those pointed edges you cut out the excesses there, so that by the time you turn it, it's going to turn out very well. So I'm going to turn this out. While turning this out, you have to be a bit patient because of all those tiny areas like the rope. You're going to use anything you have to push it out, but be careful not to rip it out. So this is it after I was done turning it out. If you have light at this point, please do where to iron your pieces. But as we don't have, let's continue with the tutorial. So this is what we are going to be having once you are done with this tutorial or with this style. This is where it's going to look. So I'm going to bring in my front lower part of this playsuit. I'll place it front facing front. As you can see, there's excess in it, so you're going to plait it into the bodice as you're stitching it down. And then for the back one, so you can see the elastic, I am done stitching it down. So you are going to pick in pick it up, and then you are going to be top stitching it. This time you are top stitching on the lower part of that back bodice. You're top stitching by half of an inch. By the time you are done top stitching, you have lining to lining, and then back wrong side of the playsuit to the wrong side. I hope you understand this. So this is after I was done. We're going to go ahead and then turn this to the wrong side. I'm just showing you guys how it looks like once we are done. So once you turn it to the wrong side, remember we still have half-inch stitching allowance on both sides of the bodice. So that half-inch is what we are going to be using to stitch this down all the way from one end to the hem of this playsuit, and you do the same thing for the other side. So once you are done with it, this is what we have. You can see we are almost done with this style. So this is what we have. It's coming, so the body is ready now, remaining the lower part of it, the short part of it. So let's go ahead and close up our crotch area. So I'll go ahead and stitch by half of an inch all the way from one end to the other. Once I am done, I will then go ahead and hem this by the stitching allowance I added. And that's basically all for this style. I hope you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you do. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up please, and share my videos to family and friends. Don't forget to watch my ads. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.